Welcome. If this is your first time at this channel, my name is Skyra, and I am the creator of Sovereign Vision Temple. And Sovereign Vision Temple is actually getting ready to officially launch tomorrow on 11/11. And I'll be sharing a video tomorrow more about what exactly Sovereign Vision Temple is and what this channel is going to be focusing on. Today, I wanted to focus on one of my most favorite subjects, and one of the actual purposes of, or with the teachings of Sovereign Vision Temple and this channel, and it's called Embodied Ascension. And what is the definition of ascension and embodiment? Embodiment and the term embodied ascension. So I want to go over that today to explain a little bit. It's not going to be full because it's such a deep subject, but as you join in the community, and if you choose to become part of the Sovereign Vision Temple community, that is a private community, you'll be able to actually experience embodied ascension, and you'll begin to, through teachings and practices, you'll understand exactly what that means. If you're experiencing a spiritual awakening, or you're interested in this phenomenon. So anyway, let's go into this video. What is the definition of ascension? And we're going to go into the old paradigm teachings of ascension. And so in the Christian teachings, and this is based on my interpretation and my own experiences, so you're free to, and of course it will not be encompassing the whole amount. It's just, these are basic descriptions. So in Christian teachings, or the Western culture, it's described as the ascent, or being taken into heaven, such as the time of Jesus's crucifixion, where Jesus experienced the ascent into heaven. It's a symbol of God's presence, or perhaps, as in my understanding, being brought up into the Christian churches, that it implies that we must wait and we must die and go to heaven to experience this total state of peace and love. Now we can be more like Jesus, but we won't be saved and be living in that state until we reach heaven. And heaven, we are told, is a place to get to by being saved, and rather than just being and becoming right now, so that we may experience that on earth right now, in this body and this incarnation, as we are living. So in the Eastern culture, teachings tell us that ascension is to rise above our body, rise above, to ascend outside of our body, our mind, and our emotions, to generally, it's in a meditative state. And this is also found in, I believe the biblical teachings as well, is when, now, and this is the thing, because there is a lot of truth in this, that we can ascend in meditation because we become still. And actually, even in the Bible, it teaches these that Christ, went and meditated, and many of the disciples meditated, and there's a reason for that, because they became still. So anyway, it's a place to go to, a meditative state, or a place generally in nature or somewhere quiet, that we can reach a state or place of bliss and peace, so that we can be become more like God. But the old Eastern cultures teach that generally only gurus or masters are able to obtain this state, that the average person is never going to get to that high of a state. And it's being shown that, it's being taught that it's a place to get away, to lead, to rise above, rather than to ground in and embody as well. So what does embodiment mean? It means to be present in the body. And this is one of the teachings that I learned deeply, and as becoming a yoga teacher, Kundalini teacher, breath work, and also in being deeply immersed in nature, living in the jungle, starting to understand what this meant, this presence, this connection to earth energy, this connection that we are present, and being able to starting to experience emotions that are living in the body. And it's also one of the newest teachings that's out about trauma, because I'm also trauma informed, a certified trauma informed teacher, that we hold trapped emotions in our body, which can cause disease and illness. And so there is a lot of evidence out there now that it's true that we need to be present in our body to experience the full range of our emotions and be able to access them. So to be present in the body is to live in and fully feel the body, the emotions that run through the body, so that there's a knowing that the body also has a spirit and a soul. And that's like what I was explaining, when we can access and be present in our body and regulate our nervous system, we're able to tap into that space of presence, which is a present, because it truly is, because we're able to, at that place, become aware of our spirit and aware of the presence of divinity or God or higher power, or whatever it is that higher power outside of us that works through us. So the old paradigm teachings and the belief systems, which are considered the third dimension, are heavy, physical only reality, where it's believed only certain masters and gurus could obtain a state of enlightenment. I've got a lot of information to share today, so I've got my notes here. I'm trying to keep myself on topic, because there's just so much, and there's so much to understand about this that can go much deeper, but I can't reach all of that today. So we can try to reach it, but most will never get there in this living state. In this, living in just the third dimensional physical, we're really ground. We don't tap into. We stay in our mind. We stay in our brain all the time. We're not connected to our body. And I have a lot of theories about that I'll share, perhaps in the groups. So what is happening now? What's happening now? We are experiencing a collective awakening. We're experiencing spiritual awakenings. We're experiencing Kundalini awakenings, and there's many reasons for this. The only one that I'm going to share at this moment is that we have just experienced a mass shutdown, where we were forced to become present, to really deal with ourselves, to question our life, to be stuck in houses and places and not working the way we weren't going about our daily life. It all got shut down. Well, it seems to have backfired a little bit, because it created presence. It created people going to nature. We're beginning to see through the veil of illusion and ignorance and mass, that we're questioning, we're knowing that there's more out to our reality than just this earth, what we're taught in school, this existence, and that we're what we're told to believe, and how to think, and how to act, and how to live. That so we're beginning to question, and also know that we have the ability to access more information. We're experiencing synchronicities, that we are knowing that we're capable of so much more than we thought, because if we can shift our belief system and get in our body. So why? Because we're experiencing more presence. And the other aspect of this is my theory is that people have become much more aware of their body, and they become more aware about detoxification and cleaning up our body and what we're eating and what we're putting. And this is how my Kundalini, or my spiritual awakening, really took off. Is I was very sick, and it was back in 2015, 2016, and I had experienced several accidents. I was going through an awakening since 2012, but I was at the place that I was just knowing I had to clean out my body. I was getting off years and years of pharmaceutical drugs. And so, of course, when we are able to get out the toxins out of our body, magically, we start experiencing synchronicities, we start experiencing connection, and we naturally want to start cleaning up our body. And so what happens with that is that it starts when we start removing toxins out of our body. We become, the energy centers in our body becomes more attuned. So another video on that one. But so let me see here. We're understanding that we are our energy, and that we're not just a physical body, and that we need to detox our body, that we need to ground in nature. And then the other part of this is sexual energy. Sexual energy is also part of this, but not in the disassociative way that we have been taught, or the way that we have been taught that it, in some religious structures, that it's a sin, which creates shame and guilt. So another video, which I can't wait to talk about, because it's very relevant to the awakening process and being embodied. So there's more than one term for Kundalini, and in this video I'm referring to the connection with God, universal energy source, our higher power. However you would like to describe the power greater than yourself. So a Kundalini awakening creates something called Christ fluid, and that moves up the spine to the brain and helps to open the pituitary gland, which is also the third eye, which is where our energetic connection to source and God happens. And it can be, the ascension of that energy can be felt in and through the body, but we tend to move up and out of the body in that place. So and we become very connected and spiritually. And there is a great YouTube video available about that, because I remember finding it back in when I was experiencing this, it's really helpful to understand, because I was experiencing it, and it made so much sense to me. Like, I was super, super connected in, just experiencing incredible synchronicities and just a feeling of almost like a drug, a high, that you kind of want to chase. And it's similar to the experience that you experience when you're in church and you're worshiping and you're singing, and you get that high state of high, but then you walk out and then you go back to your normal life. So and when you have the experience, the ascension, it's longer, it lasts longer, but we seem to be chasing that and always wanting to stay in that state and not wanting to come back into our body. So it creates a disassociation, and that can happen in either religious or spiritual places and teachings. So there are many reasons why we may experience disembodiment, where we live outside of our body, and which is another video I'll be sharing. But I shared one aspect is that we are taught that sexually that it's a sin, or we feel it is, or we feel shame around our body for many reasons. And so many people are living disembodied, disassociated from our body. So what happens if we experience this Kundalini awakening, this ascension, this spiritual awakening without being embodied and without able to feel or access our emotions? It becomes a form of escapism, or what's considered, what we're seeing a lot of is spiritual bypassing. People are chasing just that bypassing, and there's a lot of craziness. And I believe that is one of the reasons why in the Christian or the Bible, we were told to, to be careful of yoga, because it can create, or the breath can create a Kundalini awakening, but actually it is one way to keep us controlled so that we don't access that state of mind. That's my theory. So ascension is not leaving. It's actually the complete opposite. We must become present and available and more regulated, our nervous system regulated more than ever, because if we're experiencing higher dimensions of reality, we have to also be able to access and become more present so that we stay grounded and that we don't blow out our nervous system where we become dysregulated and we are living in a kind of an illusion on another spectrum, where we might be living in rose-colored glasses or just not in reality either. So there's this, it's a very deep subject, like I said, so I'm trying to bring in the kind of the basics on this. And then the only way to really truly understand it is to experience it and to be walking through this process at this moment. And then we can understand mentally and study things, but the true way to really fully embody and understand is by experiencing and being present with it. So there is no true ascension without embodiment. We must feel the divine, or the Holy Spirit, whatever you want to call that, in our body to live at a higher vibration. We must be able to access being in our body, to release the lower, and this includes not just our body, but to release lower vibrational negative thoughts, emotions, and also to access our inner child, to find that creative flow state that is the integration of the two, the lower, the parts, the groundedness and the higher ascension to come together into the space of our heart. So I have many theories about why we have been taught that we cannot ascend, or they knew we would wake up. They knew that we would wake up from the illusion. I'll leave it up to your interpretation, and I'll definitely get more into this in different videos. So I hope that was helpful. Embodied ascension is accessing both parts, the high, the spiritual high, as well as a deep groundedness into the earth, into energy, and being able to access our emotions in our body and to feel and be present in our body. So if you found this valuable or enjoy this video, please like and share, subscribe, and you can get notified when the next video goes up. And I'm super excited to launch the official launch for tomorrow. I welcome comments. I welcome constructive comments, please. And I want to create engagement here, and I will be soon announcing ways that you can join in the community and be part of this, and to learn more about what Sovereign Vision Temple is, and being in a place of embodied ascension. Have a beautiful day. Aloha.